All right, in this video, I'm going to teach you guys how I made $46,000 in a month trading options. Now, before you think like, oh, you need a shit ton of money to make this, you don't. Let me show you. All right, so here's one of the trades. I put in $320. You can see total costs, and I got $10,400 out. So I made about $10,100 profit. That's in one trade. So one of those trades may be 10K. Only have to do that 3 more times to get to the 40K month. So you can see it's pretty fucking simple. You just have to know what you're doing. And surprise, I'm going to teach you guys exactly what to do so you know what you're doing. Also, here's another one in that month. So I put in $570, got $8,600 out. And another one, $300 in, $7,000 out. And you don't even have to put in like a few $100. You can put in $86 like this, and I made $1,500. You're just focused on getting this big return. So this is 1,600%. All right, now I'm going to teach you guys exactly how to do that. All right, so this program that I have on my computer is called TC2000. Now, you don't need this, but it makes it a little bit easier. The reason I like it is because you can have a bunch of tools like this where you can go through each group of stocks. So let's say there's like 7,000 stocks or something. They're going to be put into categories or groups. So you can see here, this is energy, tech, healthcare, industrials, blah, 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 blah. Now, during certain periods of economic conditions, I guess you could say, certain periods of time to make it simpler, some of these groups will be performing better than others. So if we sort this by year to date, so that's going to be from the 1st of January this year to now, we can see that energy is the top performing sector. Technology is second, healthcare is third. All right, so just for example, because I was showing you guys when I made the 46,000, that is when tech was the leading sector at the time. So that allows us to thin down that 7,000 stocks or whatever into tech, which is going to give us even less, maybe like a few hundred. Just kidding, I lied. There's about 1,059 stocks in the tech sector. But then I'm going to filter those even more. So I'm going to check this filter box, and I have this filter right here. So this is going to show me the stocks that are performing very well. So like the top performers in this sector. And then I can just go through this list, which instead of it being 1,059, it's now 114. So that filters it down even more. And then I go through this list, and I'll show you exactly what I'm looking for. So just remember, you're looking for the best performing sector, and then you're going to look for the best performing stocks in that sector. All right, so one of the stocks that popped up in this list is AMD. Now, this had really, really clean price movement, and I'll show you guys exactly what it is that we're looking for. So we see that this starts to make a big move up, then they go sideways for a little, then up, then sideways. Like this looks like stair steps, if you can see that. It just keeps going up, then it pulls back, then it goes up, then it pulls back, goes up, pulls back, blah, blah, blah. And we want to catch these little bursts right here. That's pretty much where you're going to make all the money, and you just avoid all this bullshit where it's going sideways. So the main thing here that we're looking for is a relatively big move up. This can be anywhere from 30% to even higher. But let's just say this makes about like a 30% move up in, I don't know, 60 days or less. So this one, for example, made a 36% move in about 21 days. Now, after it did that, it's going to go sideways for a little. Well, it doesn't have to, but we can see that it started to go sideways. And what you'll notice is it holds these lines very well. So this is the 10 and the 20 SMA. It kind of falls down a little bit and then comes back up. And then what you'll see here is it tightens up and we get a very, very thin candle right there. So this is an entire day of price movement. It's extremely, extremely thin. Like that is basically nothing fucking happened. That's typically a sign right before the stock is about to break out. Another sign is you can see after it makes this big move up, so the move up should be on increasing volume, and then the move sideways, so like it's going sideways right here. As it's going sideways, the volume should be dying out, which you can see it just slowly trickled down. And then on the last day, right before breakout, the volume was pretty much the lowest it's been in a while, and then the candle was very, very thin. Now, the day that we're buying it is this day when it breaks out of this range. So if I were to draw a line, it would be something like that. I mean, that's pretty brief, but you can see like a lot of the candles just run into that area and they come right back down. Here, it did break through, but then it just came right back down into that area. And this is where we got the real breakouts. This was like an attempted breakout, but it wasn't, I don't know, it was just kind of weak looking. This one actually looked really good because the candle started to tighten up right here and the volume was just dying out even further. And then the next day, we have this big volume. So you see the volume right there? That's on this day right here. So this is the day that we want to buy it. This is when it's breaking through this range. I don't know if you guys can see it as well as I can see it. It seems like the charts are like fucking talking to me. But it makes this move up, right? And then it builds this range here. So it's like this clear period where it's just going sideways. And the second it starts to go up again, like right there, that's where I want to buy it. So you buy this within the first like few minutes of market open. So you're going to get a really, really good entry. Like you're going to be low here on the candle because this is the entire day. So you're going to get in like right here and you set your stop loss at the low of the day. So if this turns around for some reason, then you just cut it pretty quick. So you take a really small loss. But you can see like if this is where you're buying it, this is where like you would lose. So you'd only lose like this little tiny piece, but then you have this big piece where you can make money. Hopefully that makes sense. But for options, so I need to figure out how high this is going to go and when it's going to go that high. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here and I can see ADR percent. So this is something that I added to my chart. At the end of this video, I'll tell you guys how to get this layout and like how to get all these tools that I have. But yeah, you'll see right here. So ADR percent, 3.91%. So on average, this is going to move about 3.9. Let's just call it 4% per day. And let's say I'm buying options contracts. Let's just call this Monday. And I want them to expire on Friday. So that gives me Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So if I take the average daily range, which is, let's call it 4%, and I multiply that by how many days we have here, that gives me a move of about 20%. So if we take where we entered to here, what do you know? 19.36%. So not exact, like not perfect, but that's pretty fucking close. So you basically just guessed how high this is going to go in the amount of time. So you're basically placing a bet. That sounds crazy, but you're basically placing a bet. And because the odds are in your favor and this is like statistically proven to work, you're going to make a shit ton of money from this. So if the stock is going sideways for a while and then I say, hey, bro, I think this is going to go up 20% in 5 days. Someone's going to take me up on that bet and be like, yeah, bullshit. And then they're going to get fucked and I'm going to make the money. Because I know that tech is a strong sector, AMD is a strong stock in that sector, and this is giving me the perfect looking chart setup for it to go higher and make that little explosive move before it goes sideways again or just comes down like it is now. So you can see like these are the little bursts that you're looking for, right? But none of these were really too good. Now we can take a different stock. Now this is in the same sector as a very similar company. So NVIDIA and AMD are like relatively similar. And this one actually had a few really good moves. So this is when it started to gain a lot of momentum and then it had good earnings. You can see it pulled back right here to the 10s of the purple line. And then the volume was, somewhat dying out. It was getting lower. And then these candles tightened up. Like it just built this very perfect range. Like it's coming to that pinch there. And the second it breaks out, you're buying it. And you can see it makes that little move again. What does it do? Again, pulls back. You can see these candles tighten up. It holds the yellow line this time, which is the 20 SMA. And it just like really tightens up. Like it builds such a clear range. We get all these thin candles right here, very thin candle before breakout. And you can see the volume is, ever so slightly, but it is dying out once again. Breaks out here, you're buying it here, makes another big burst, which is about like 12%. I mean, not too crazy, but I made a shit ton of money on this one. You guys can see I posted this on Twitter. I made like a little write-up showing you guys the strategy on Twitter too. But I turned $800 into 54K on this one. So this was literally plus $54,000 from 7/12 to 7/14. And if we go back here, you can see that day right there is 7/12, and then we have 7/14, which was this day, which is when I sold it. So just 3 days, and I made that much money, turned $800 into 54K. And the stock only moved like 10-11%. All right, that was a long ass video. Hopefully that makes sense. I mean, to some of you guys, it probably doesn't, but if you made it to the end, it probably made some sense. If you want the tools, like all the charts that I use, the whole layout, everything, just go to the link in my bio. You'll see free course and then go to the description of that video. And you'll see a bunch of other links. Just go check through that. But yeah, if you made it to the end of this video, favorite it and comment like end or something. I don't know.